Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the Pixel 3 XL. Now, I've had this for quite some time and haven't reviewed it because I was waiting for the December update to come out to hopefully fix a lot of problems, and it actually did fix quite a few of the issues that it had. So this is the Pixel 3 XL in not pink. And let's take the case off. Now, I've been using this case on and off. I bought the case, but the phone was sent to me by Google. So in full disclosure, they sent me this. Originally, I had bought a white one if you saw the unboxing, and they sent me this one, so I no longer have the other one. But this phone is one of my favorite Android phones, and this case protects it quite well. In fact, I dropped it on the concrete once. For some reason, I never drop iPhones, but I always drop the Pixel phones. I'm not sure what that is, but this protected it quite well, so I'm glad that it did its job. Now, the not pink color is actually more of a tan with a hint of pink in it. So as you can see here, it looks pretty good. And I have some positive things and negative things, or good and bad things, to say about this phone after using it for about a few months every single day. Now, I carry an iPhone with me, but I also carry this, and I use this regularly. Now, the first thing I like is the design. I'm glad they kept this button here that's colored. They have orange on this version, and then they have a green or mint colored button on the white one, and then just a black button on the black one. Unfortunately, they didn't make that one a fun color as well, but they should have. The design is nice. Some people don't like this, but I like the glass back. The frosted glass on here doesn't seem to scratch very well. I like the texture of it that kind of mixes with the top, and here it's a nice feeling phone if you're not using a case on it. The overall design is nice and solid. The buttons feel good. They're nice and tactile. And the bottom is really simple. You've just got your USB-C, nothing on this side. You do have a SIM card port, but nothing as far as expandable storage, and then your camera, of course, on the back. Let's go ahead and unlock it, and you'll see the giant notch, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. But the overall design is kind of striking, especially if you see the notch there. There's no way to avoid that, but again, let's talk about that in a moment. Now, the next positive thing is the speakers. The speakers sound really good. Let me open one of my videos, and you'll see this video is in HDR, so let me bump the quality here. We can bump it up to 1440p, and that's one of the good things about this display. It goes up to that. But let me see if you can hear the speakers. They go really loud, and this video of mine has music, so let's go ahead and hear that. So hopefully you could hear how loud that actually was. It's really nice and loud. They're very high quality sounding. They're nice stereo speakers. And one of the issues they had prior to that December update is they would rattle. After they updated it, they don't rattle at all. They sound really good, and I've had no issues with that. So I'm pretty happy with the quality of the speakers. Now, the next positive thing is the battery. The battery does really well on here, at least in my experience. Let's go into the battery. And you'll see we're at 73%. Now, I haven't used it a ton today. You'll see only about an hour and 5 minutes since full charge. I usually get about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time with this, usually about 5 if you're using it regularly. It just depends what you're doing, but watching video, using social media, that's usually what I find I get with this. Then I come home, put it on the charge dock, which is really nice, and just leave it there overnight as my alarm clock, and it's a really nice way to use that. And that's the next positive thing, is that wireless charge dock. You just stick this up on there, and now you've got your Google Assistant built in. It's kind of unlocked, ready to go, and it's a great way to use the phone and charge it at the same time. And then also it becomes your alarm clock, and it's great as far as that part goes. Now, the next positive thing or good thing is the display. The display is really nice. It's 1440 by 2960, 6.3 inches corner to corner. Nice and vibrant. Now, some people say they don't like the colors of the display, but if we go into the display itself, not the battery, the display settings, and we go to our colors, you'll see it has 3 different modes. We've got natural, boosted, and adaptive. If I go to natural, it's more of a RGB color accurate display. Boosted makes them more saturated. Adaptive is adaptive and kind of changes based on what you're watching. I like adaptive. Some people may not, but I find it works well for me. And the display is nice and vibrant. It's wide color gamut. And again, you can watch HDR content on YouTube, which is nice. The next good thing is updates. You get regular updates with this. So unlike some Android phones, you get your normal system updates. You'll see the system is up to date, December 5th, 2018. I've got everything up to date, and in January, we'll get another one. So we've got our security and updates if there's problems, and they do a pretty good job with keeping these up to date. And with those updates comes the next positive thing is the smoothness. This is a very, very smooth phone. In fact, the only phone I've found that's actually smoother than it is the OnePlus 6T. That one, probably due to the extra RAM, is just super smooth. Anything you do, you'll see nothing seems to lock up or freeze. The only thing that might be a little bit slow sometimes is opening the camera, but they fixed that with the latest update. No issues there. And it's just a great experience going into the app switcher, switching through everything. It's just super fast all the time for me. So I have no complaints. I haven't had it slow down like the Pixel 2 XL. That one didn't really slow down on me too much, but for some people it did. It's been pretty great overall. Now the next positive thing is the camera. This camera is, as far as pictures are concerned, the best camera there is out there, period, when it comes to smartphones. Now, I know DxOMark is going to rate it similar to others. I prefer the colors on this. I think they're great. It catches a lot of detail. If I zoom in here, you'll see there's a lot of detail there. It looks great. The colors are accurate, especially if you're taking some shots outside. Let me show you some of the photos I've taken with this, and then we'll move on to what the video can do as well. So here's the back camera of the Pixel 3 XL, and one thing to keep in mind is it only does 4K 30, which that's what this is now, but the video as a whole is 4K 60, so it may not look 100% right, but the idea is just to show you the video quality and the actual microphone, which is one of the biggest complaints on this device. So you saw the photo and video, and also we have that front-facing camera. Let me spin it around, of course, that you can widen this right out with. And it gets nice and wide, and if you want to take a really wide photo, you can do that. And you've got AR and all those other things in here as well. It's an amazing camera, but as far as video is concerned, that's the first bad thing. The mic for video recording is not great. It's okay. It could be improved though, and that's probably, it's very minor, but if you want to get the best video recording camera, iPhone has this beat. But when it comes to photos, iPhone can't touch this, in my opinion. Now, the next bad thing is the notch. This notches don't typically bother me too much on phones, especially something like the OnePlus 6T, where it's just a little teardrop. With the OnePlus 6T or even the iPhones, that notch is less noticeable. It kind of fades away, but this one doesn't seem to fade away. I don't know if it's because of its size or the way it's curved. I'm not sure. It doesn't bother me horribly, but it definitely is noticeable, and it's not something you just forget about because it's just kind of an awkward size and shape. So if notches really bother you, you're going to want to pass on this phone. The next thing that's bad is RAM. This has 4 gigabytes of RAM, and while the processor is plenty fast for this overall experience, the RAM management initially made things really slow, especially when it came to reloading different things. Maybe we'd go into the settings app and it would have to reload everything, and that was early on. Now it's a little bit better, but it doesn't seem to have that issue. But for some reason before, you'll see it just reloaded YouTube completely, and then we were only 3 or 4 apps in. So sometimes there's some issues. That doesn't typically bother me too much, but especially before the December update, it was a problem. I think they should have put 6 gigabytes of RAM in here. That would have solved all of the problems with it. The last bad thing is price. The price of this phone is quite expensive, not out of range of other flagships, but when it comes to some of the specs, it's kind of high. It's $899 for the Pixel 3 XL or $799 to start for the Google Pixel 3. Now, many times there were offers and different discounts during the holiday season, so you may be able to find some of those. But it's a very expensive premium phone, and it feels like a premium phone. I have no issues there, But I do have one more bad thing that I noticed happened a couple times to me, is the microphone stopped working. So if you use Google Assistant, squeeze the phone, which I use a lot, the microphone would stop picking up any voice. In order to get it to work, I found some people online that said, blow some air into this bottom speaker vent, and that fixed it. It happened to me twice so far. If it happens again, I'll probably see if they'll warrant this and get a replacement, because every time I do this, and if I search for something, sometimes it doesn't work properly. It won't pick up the mic at all. Other times it works fine. It's kind of an odd problem, but it's definitely there and hasn't been resolved yet. But those are the good and the bad. Overall, it's my favorite Android phone. This and probably the OnePlus 6T. I think this is a great buy. I love the display. I love the camera. The notch, again, is one of the negatives, but overall it's a great package. You've got tons of accessories people are releasing, even in Best Buy and other places as well, so you've got that covered there. And there's supposed to be a light version of this coming out soon. If we do have a light one, I'll see if I can pick it up and see what it's like. If it's significantly worse or better, we won't know until we try it out. So that's it for the Pixel 3 XL. Let me know what you think about it though in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.